What's up, guys? It's Eric from Rare Candy, and today we're back with the fourth and final round of the recent league challenge that we got to go attend. So here on the left, we got Patrick Ordle sporting his awesome Victory Bell dice bag that he got from us. Over there on the left, playing Greninja BREAK with Talonflame. And on the right, we have Brian Fox back from the third round into the finals here with this Trevenant BREAK deck. So Patrick's going first, and he's got to be pretty happy about that since he got to play the Stive Ball. Grabbed himself a Frogadier. So he's just preparing for next turn. That way he can use water duplicates. So here Brian's playing Battle Compressor, getting rid of Wally and a Lysander. And maybe just another supporter to put in the discard. I'm guessing he probably has a Versus Seeker he's ready to use. So here he's probably just checking also what's prized and everything that's in his deck too. And Patrick's actually pretty fortunate. He was able to start with Talonflame. Talonflame is a new Pokemon from Steam Siege. Has, I believe it's Gale Wings ability. If it's in your starting hand or opening hand, you can start with it as your active Pokemon. And it's really nice because it has an attack called Aero Blitz. That lets you search your deck for any two cards and does 40 damage. So that's definitely a great attack under item lock. So Talonflame's typically not a main attacker of the deck. It's normally just a Pokemon you want to attack with the first couple turns, but it could be a good card in this matchup. So if Patrick ever is drawing dead off item lock, you can just use that attack instead, and maybe search out a supporter or something else. Okay, so Brian does have the turn 1 item lock. That is definitely what he likes to see here. And here, Patrick's just going to evolve into that Frogadier and use water duplicates, search his deck, and put up to 3 Frogadiers from his deck onto his bench. So it looks like he either has one prized or is in his hand, but he does have 3 Frogadiers now in play. So he's having a pretty decent setup so far. And here Brian's going to put down Dimension Valley, probably attach a Psychic Energy and start using Silent Fear if I had to guess. It is unfortunate that Brian did have to put down the first stadium, since that does put him in a position to potentially lose the stadium war here. But nevertheless, he definitely needs it down so he can attack. So Versus Seeker, and okay, it looks like he's playing an N. Both players are going to shuffle their hands into their deck and draw equal to the amount of prize cards that they have left. So if you're Brian here, you definitely want to get a couple Phantoms on board and get some more Trevenants set up, just because Greninja BREAK is going to be able to pick off any Phantoms that are unevolved in the later parts of the game. So he definitely needs to get them down and get them to start evolving before they become easy prize targets here. So here it looks like Brian's going to opt to grab a Level Ball off that Trainer's Mail, which I think is just fine. He can play that, grab himself another Phantom, and start setting up his board a little bit more. So let's see, I don't imagine he'd play any other Pokemon under 90 hit points, probably just the Phantom. Okay, yep, just as I thought. Okay, it looks like he's actually opting to play an Ultra Ball to get rid of the Phantom. That's definitely an interesting play, I think. I would have probably rather have seen him Ultra Ball away that Level Ball, because these Phantoms are definitely going to be precious resources for him. And here it looks like just going to do a Silent Fear, put 3 damage counters from all of Patrick's Pokemon, but he is going to have Rough Seas and is going to be able to heal all of that damage away. So, and Patrick's actually having a pretty good turn. He had a Sycamore, he got one of the Greninjas with Water Shuriken in play, and now he's just going to attack with this Talonflame, do 40 damage, but he gets to search his deck for any 2 cards and put them into his hand. So this is definitely a great card for this Trevenant matchup, especially because Talonflame has 130 hit points and only gives up one prize. So it's going to be a while before this thing gets knocked out. Okay, so he does have a Dimension Valley, which is definitely good because, he does want to get down some damage and not have it get rough seized away. And here he's going to Ultra Ball a Trevenant and a Trevenant Break. That's definitely not what you'd like to have to do here. But he's going to grab himself a Shaman EX. I guess his hand was just super dead, so sometimes you have to get rid of stuff that you don't like to. Okay, so what does he really want here? Maybe a Burst Balloon, if I had to guess. That seems like one of the main things that you'd really want as the Trevenant player by this point. So it looks like he's eyeing some cards in his discard pile. Oh, okay. So he's going to play Versus Seeker for an N. Both players are going to shuffle their hands into their deck and draw equal to their prize cards, like we said. This is actually a really, really good play just because Patrick was able to search his deck for any two cards. So they had to be the best cards he could have possibly needed. So, or you would assume so anyway. So Brian was definitely right to dig for that N. And he was able to get a Burst Balloon too, so he's having a pretty decent turn right now. So what does he have to do? So Burst Balloon, and I'm not sure if there's anything else in his hand he would really want to play at this point. So you're probably just going to see a Silent Fear. He also could Tree Slam as well, potentially. I'd rather just see the Silent Fear come down, though, personally. So here we're going to evolve into the Greninja Break. And here, Talonflame is just going to do Aero Blitz yet again and take another 6 damage counters. So you'd have to imagine right here, if I had to guess, I didn't see what Patrick got, but I'd imagine it's probably a Rough Seas and maybe one of the Shadow Stitching Greninjas. Oh, okay, looks like you got a Sycamore and something else. Okay. So Psychic Energy coming down to that bench Trevenant, starting to power that thing up, since it's a pretty good shot that this active one is going to go down. And he has to discard another Trevenant. That's definitely not what you want to see. So it looks like Brian's trying to take these two Trevenants that he has all the way. Here we're going to get this. And so he's going to shuffle in, I think that was 3 item cards from Patrick's hand in his deck. And so Brian gets to draw a couple new cards now. Okay, and looks like Brian's eyeing on that Super Odd. He probably will need to play that just because he's discarded a lot of trees at this point. He is going to need to get them back if he wants to keep streaming his Trevenant breaks for the rest of the game. But he's in a bit of a predicament now, though, because if he benches any more Phantoms, they are easy Giant Water Shuriken prizes for Greninja. Because Greninja Break has the Giant Water Shuriken ability, you can discard a water from your hand and put 6 damage counters on any of your opponent's Pokemon. And here he bounces that Rough Seas out of play with his Dimension Valley. And yep, we're going to see a Shadow Stitching, I believe, for the knockout. And so this is pretty interesting. Okay, so now Brian's going to Super Odd. He's realizing, wait, I need to get some of these trees back in my deck. So he's going to Love Ball, grab a Phantom. And he does have a Computer Search in his hand as well, so I'm curious what he's going to get off of that. We'll probably see an attachment for turn, maybe Computer Search for a Sycamore, or if he has the supporter, maybe he could grab another Dimension Valley to bump this Rough Seas out of play. So Computer Search, discard, 2 Psychic Energy, and grab a Dimension Valley. Yep, just like we said, that definitely seems good. And so Patrick's just counting how many rough seas he's been through so far. And here I would assume we'll probably see, I'm not sure how many cards are in Pat's hand, but maybe C and N. Okay, yeah, it seems okay to me so far. So Brian definitely wants to get down a bursting balloon. That's really the big card he needs to hit here. He did draw a red card, which actually isn't that bad of a card to draw. So he end Pat down to 5, but then he drew the red card. It makes his opponent shuffle their hand, their deck, and draw 4 cards. So Pat does still have an N to work with, though, at least. So he will he will have a fighting chance next turn. And so here we're just going to see probably maybe a Tree Slam, actually. That would seem good. Yep, so Tree Slam will do 60 to the active and 20 to 2 of Pat's bench Pokemon. Here he top deck a Sycamore, so he's evolving into the other Greninja Break, and now he's in a little bit of trouble, I'd have to say. So he's going to do John Wire Shuriken, take a knockout on that Shaman, and retreat into this benched Greninja Break. And we might see a Moonlight Slash for 80, potentially. Yeah, that seems good to me. So Moonlight Slash would let him return a water to his hand to do an extra 20 damage. So Brian definitely better evolve this Phantom this turn. He desperately needs to, otherwise it's a free prize. So Trainer's Mail. I believe I see a Wally there, so he could use that. Oh, okay, Zerosic. Um, I don't see that being too useful this turn though, just because he doesn't have that splash energy actually in play. Oh, he thought Patrick had the splash energy, but he returned it to his hand, so he's actually unable to play that. So that's definitely a little bit of a misplay, I believe, on Brian's part. So just going to play a Sycamore. That seems perfectly fine as well. And Brian is getting a little low on cards, so that might be another thing he has to worry about. Um, and luckily, it looks like he did draw into a Trevenant, so he will be able to save that Phantom from being an easy free prize for Patrick. Okay, and let's see. So we're probably just going to see a Tree Slam if I had to guess here. So it looks like he's just doing some math, trying to figure out how much damage it would do, I think. Okay. Yeah, so that seems perfectly fine. As long as Pat doesn't get a rough CC, actually isn't in too bad of a situation here. It just depends, really. But because right now, both these Greninja breaks are within range of being tree slammed for a knockout. But here we're just going to see a Moonlight Slash for the knockout. And I believe he does have a break in hand. Oh, was that the last card in Brian's deck? If so, that's definitely not good. Huh. Well, this might be a little bit anticlimactic here. Huh. Okay. Well, that's definitely not good. So I don't believe Brian can finish off these Greninjas in time. If that's the case, then if he has an N, he would maybe be able to end his hand to his deck and leave himself with like an extra card in there or something. It's the only thing I can think of at this point. I don't know what options he has now. And here he just concedes the game. So a little bit unfortunate. Um, yeah, you always hate to lose by just decking out like that. Um, but yeah, that definitely looked to be like a close game otherwise. So here we have Patrick taking the last game here. I forget the standings, but I believe all of the players were 3-1 that were in the top 3. So either Brian or Patrick won this one. I completely forget now. But anyways, Brian's deck, he actually posted the whole list on his YouTube channel, Fisherman Brian. I'll be sure to put a link to it if you guys want to check that out and see what he played for this tournament. But yeah, and that is it for this expanded league challenge, guys. If I go to any others, or me and Marcus go to any others, we'll definitely try to record them and get some more footage for you guys if possible. But with that, be sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out our merch over at rarecandytcg.com. That way you can get one of them awesome Victory Bell dice bags like Mr. Patrick has over there, or maybe a playmat or something. Help support the channel. But with that, I appreciate you watching, guys, and we'll see you for the next one, okay?